Right, traders, we're looking at S&P 500 and mini futures. We're looking at 2000 tick chart, and we may have our first high probability setup for the day being formed. Let's see if we can get a nice bullish bar. So we have a second entry long that triggered above exponential moving average, and let's see if the entry can actually trigger, because so far there is no trigger yet above this bullish bar. All right, so I dropped my limit order and I got filled, so I'm going to put my stop loss one tick below the signal bar. I'm going to move my runner at the highs, and right now I have entered a two-legged pullback, and whoa, so there was a quick losing trade. So I was looking at the second entry long with the direction of a trend break of the uptrend. A new extreme is going to be expected, but as you guys can see, I got instantly trapped, and we closed above EMA again. So let's see. Yeah, so this was our first trade. Wow, this was a quick losing trade. They got us instantly. There was a strong push above EMA, and you guys can see the spike and a channel pattern. So I expected after a break for price to create new extreme according to trendline rules, but it didn't happen. So that's our first losing trade, and that comes to the territory, and we'll see what we can get next. All right, so I'm resuming the video again as we have a setup potentially forming, because our first initial second entry long has failed, and now everybody who went short on a failed second entry long above EMA is most likely going to get trapped. So let's see if we can push above EMA with a strong decisive bullish bar, so we can still enter and still get the new extreme that I'm anticipating. Because come on, a nice bullish bar. Let's see how this bar finishes. All right, big bullish bar, come on. So I'm waiting for the trigger above this bullish bar to give me a clear confirmation of the momentum. You can see the exponential moving average keeps holding price. So far, things are looking bearish, but come on. If we trigger high reverse here, there's going to be a great momentum. EMA still keeps holding price. You guys can see I have my trigger ready. I'm waiting for one tick above. All right, so I enter this trade right here. I'm going to move my stop loss below this. I'm going to move my runner at the highs. I'm going to go for 10 ticks since I had a losing trade here. And this is my second trade. I like the exponential moving average, still keeps holding price. And everybody who went short too early now got trapped. And this is a nice big bullish bar. EMA still keeps holding price, and I expect for price to create new extreme. So let's see what happens here. It's getting very congested, but 2500 tick chart has a nice second entry long. Gorgeous second entry long on 2500 tick chart. So we'll see what can happen here. Come on. New high, first entry long pullback, second entry long on 2500 tick chart, and even acted as a high low confirmation. So we'll see. It's getting very stacked now, but I'm holding my trade. I believe we're going to create new extreme here. EMA keeps holding price. We cannot close below. Come on, a couple more ticks. We need actually a lot. Now this is a congestion. You know what? I'm going to go for 8 ticks, because 9, 10, because this is now a congestion and we can barely create scalp and we can pull back, because this is how these tiny congestions act, that you can snap back and create a breakout pullback pattern, and I don't want to be stuck in this trade for a long time. So I'm going to pause the video because we're right now going sideways, but I still expect for price to create new extreme. EMA keeps holding price, and then I'm going to show you guys the 2500 tick chart. We'll see. All right, quickly resuming the video as we just hit our target profit. Perfect. So I'm going to keep my runner at the highs, but as I mentioned, we can easily pull back, and we'll see how far the runner can go now. So this was just a little fake out trap. Nothing I can do here. Pretty much it's impossible for me to trying to predict this trade right here. So I'm going to pause it. All right, and our runner just got hit, and this is the typical little pullback back into congestion. So I'm glad I took a quick easy scalp, and now we're just going sideways. So I'm not just going to be patient. So there was a little breakout pullback, and this is extremely typical for these congestions. And this high low happened so quickly. This would have been another high probability setup, because right now we're in a congestion. Price broke out of congestion, pulled back, because most breakouts excuse me, of these congestions will fail. So price pulled back, tested the breakout area of the congestion. EMA kept holding price. We still needed new extreme, and there was a nice big bullish bar, which is a higher low. And higher low is additional entry how to enter a breakout of congestion, because congestions, we enter congestions if they break to the downside and we trade it in the opposite direction. So if the congestion breaks to the downside, we fade the breakout, we expect for price to push higher. But if the congestion breaks with the direction of the trend, we wait for price to pull back, and then we enter on the higher low. And you guys can see we finally even created a new extreme for this bigger pattern that was established in the afternoon. So they just, a second entry long, it just felt they were just a temporarily fake out. This is pretty much nothing I can do. There's no way for me to predict this fake out right here. And this is why I like this trade. Here's the 2500 tick chart. There is still the uptrend working higher, and there is a first entry long, pullback, second entry long, and even higher low confirmation of this two-legged pullback, and exponential moving average keeps holding price. So this is much better entry on 2500 tick chart. It can filter out the noise here a little bit on a 2K chart, but it's a shame we got stopped here, especially when it looks so nice and we read the context properly. But that's what, there's nothing you can do about this. There's literally not much you can do about this. Maybe the downtrend needed a little bit, now that I'm looking at it, downtrend needed a little bit additional push to at least attempt for a new extreme, but still 8 or 9 times out of 10 this is going to work. So I'm not going to really think about it. That's part of trading, that's part of every strategy, and right now I'm going to be looking probably for some bigger uptrend. Let's see if we can manage to find something. Once price broke out of congestion and kept pushing higher, you guys can see that there was additional uptrend that could have been found. There was a break for the uptrend created a new extreme, and from that point on price sold off strongly because after there's a break in a new extreme, price is going to either correct or straight up reverse. And this key level is holding nicely, and we broke above, we pull back, and right now we are shortened downtrend. So this downtrend right now is in play. I haven't seen any decent entry. There was a two-legged pullback right here, but you cannot go long above bearish bar. Since I'm buying, I want to buy above nice bullish bar, something like this. So price broke, didn't offer anything, and price pushed back higher and didn't offer an even higher low above exponential moving average, or felt second entry short for that matter above exponential moving average. So there was no good setup. So I'm just right now waiting, and it's a shame I didn't manage to enter this trade because it's such a nice trade. Congestion, price broke out, pullback, and higher low, confirming the EMA. There was a second entry long, but far away from EMA, and I cannot take that. So right now we're sitting only on 2 setups, and we'll see if we can get a good setups. All right, traders, quickly resuming video, as there has been nothing so far, no single setup that was enterable. I like this felt second entry long because right now we are going sideways. We are in this trading range. There's a new high, first entry long, push below EMA confirming bearish momentum, and a second entry long. I cannot go long now when there's a break in a new extreme for the short-term uptrend, and when we are right now stacked in this small trading range. So I expected for price to push lower, but I cannot sell below this doji bar that managed to close above EMA. If this bar closed a little bit lower with more bearish ticks, that the bearish body would have been bigger. This would have been a great felt second entry long, but unfortunately like that I can't, and you guys can see we have a huge volatility move right now, and we have a bullish momentum. So I'm going to draw the first very tight short-term trend line, and we'll see what we can happen there. News right now going on, so yeah, splurge in volatility. Since there are news coming out, we can see that the volatility is really increasing, and for that reason I'm not entering any trades. I'm staying out of this market because it gets really fast, really volatile. The stops are increasing, and you can get stopped instantly. You can hit your target profit within like a second, but you don't want to risk that when the market is this fast. For example, we have now a nice higher low forming, which I would like to go long here because EMA keeps holding price, but I just cannot enter just yet because it is still a little bit too fast. You guys can see how quickly it spiked. Look at this. If you're on the wrong side of the market, you can get instantly stopped, and you can give back a lot of money. This one would have been probably the quickest scalp you've ever made, but I still like to be a little bit more patient until we get a little bit slower. But the bias is bullish, EMA keeps holding price, and yeah, still sitting only on 2 trades. This one was shame, they didn't form below EMA, and this one the news caused big spike, and I'm just sitting patiently and waiting for price to stall a little bit, so it is safe for me to enter. All right guys, quickly resuming video, as we have a high-low setup. No, come on. All right, and we got filled, so I'm going to move my stop loss 1 tick below the signal bar, which is this higher low that I'm entering. I'm going for 8 ticks. All right, so that was quick. So let me quickly move break even. All right, so our runner got instantly stopped without even going any further, but it was a quick, easy scalp. What was I looking at? I was looking at the new high, first entry long, pullback, second entry long, high low, we triggered lower and still reversed, and overall structure has been getting really bullish. This is the overall bigger pattern, and you guys can see we keep making higher highs, higher lows. It is resembling a trading range a little bit, but there is a bullish bias. You guys can see this is the bigger pattern, and this pattern is a little bit too flat, a little bit too wide, so we don't use it for patterns, because by the time price comes all the way down here, it's most likely not going to hold. But I use it as a bias confirmation. Right now we're in a strong uptrend. You guys can see there's a strong move up, and each time price is just pushing higher. So this is the bias. It is long. If I'm going to zoom out on a smaller picture, I can see that there's an uptrend working higher. This is the first break for the uptrend, new high, first entry long, second entry long, two-legged pullback, close to EMA. It's not perfectly touching the EMA, but that's typical once the structure is bullish like this. We can see that the news were really well received. A lot of traders are starting to buy, they're liking the news. When you see structure like this, you're most likely not going to get a perfect entry. So I like this setup. Too bad our runner got stopped instantly. Unfortunately, that's what it is. We have to be at least grateful that we managed to get the scalp here. Alright, resuming video after quite some time, and we just had a higher low form that was extremely tempting to take, but I'm waiting if we can get a second entry long additional pullback. It's confirming the nice trend line that is found from these three swings. It got nicely confirmed and it's holding price, but I was about to take higher low if it closes above exponential moving average, but a strong push below EMA kind of deterred me from taking this entry. But you guys can see overall structure is still bullish uptrend. We keep chopping higher, even though it's not a clear healthy trend. There's a lot of up and down movement. There is still a bullish bias, and this was my last trade. And once we created a new high, then we had a new extreme, first entry long pullback, second entry long, but you just had a break and a new extreme form, so you just cannot go long yet. Also, the shortened downtrend is still in play, and the signal bar is not great because the half of the body is a bearish stem, which means everybody started selling at the end of the bar. There was a break, new extreme form, and after you have a strong push above EMA, you expect continuation of the bullish uptrend, and you expect higher low or failed second entry short. But there was no good entry because higher low had the horrible doji bearish bar and didn't really set up properly. Failed second entry short happened too far away. Then there was a downtrend working lower. There was a break, new extreme form, and you can see price action rules working. So after you have a break, new extreme, now we expect failed second entry short above EMA, and failed second entry short happened right here, new low. First attempt to sell, pullback, second attempt to sell, but it closed below EMA, and that's not really a good confirmation of a bullish momentum. You can see how EMA still keeps holding price. So we wanted to go long here, but there was no setup. Then look, it looked like higher low may form here, but there was no trigger for higher low to enter. So unfortunately, didn't take this trade as well. And now that you got properly higher low, it confirmed the key entry point, which is great. But I really would have liked better a second entry or had it closed first above exponential moving average. But I'm probably playing it a little bit too safe. With so many touches off the key entry point, you're probably thinking that we're truly going to push higher. All right, so I entered with the limit order a little bit further back. So I'm going to go move my runner somewhere up here. And the reason why I entered with the limit order so further back is because I need to have room to these highs right here. But I'm looking at the new high, first entry long pullback, second entry long right here. And also this is the lowest low. And we have a first entry short pullback, second entry short right here. A big bullish bar. We didn't really touch the exponential moving average with the body, but overall bias is still up. If we get stopped out, we get stopped out here. It is what it is. It's a two-legged pullback and a failed second entry short as well in uptrend structure. We'll see. All other time frames are quite overdone. That's a little bit concerning here, but let's see if we can manage to get out of this trade. Doesn't really look great after such a big bearish bar in the opposite direction. You guys can see I'm going for 2 points. I really want to make room, have room. We need a couple more ticks. Come on. One more point. I'm really tempted to exit this bike. I kind of like this setup, second entry long. If I didn't have my limit order entry like that back, I wouldn't probably hold this trade. Because it really looks like a strong bearish rejection here. Yeah. We're a little bit too overdone. We'll see. Nothing I can do now. Not the cleanest entry because you generally want the body to touch the EMA and not just the stem, but this is uptrend. This trend line seems to be holding, EMA seems to be holding. It is a second entry long and a failed second entry short at the same time. Now it's getting a little bit too congested. We'll see. I'm going to pause it. I'm not going to make it too long, and I'm going to resume it when we have result. All right, resuming the video, and the trade ended up failing, so we got stopped here. We already are way too close to the highs, and all the time frames are looking way too overdone. Also, you have a close to double top. You're supposed to be entering low right here at these deeper pullbacks. I'm going to keep trading and see if I can make it back, because right now we're break even. We are 2 for 2. And yeah, we'll see if we can get some decent setup, but today is not looking that great so far. All right guys, I'm quickly resuming the video, as we may have eventually a failed second entry short triggering, and we trigger. So I'm going to drop my limit order. I'm going to move my, it's a quite big of a stop loss, but I really trust this trade. What I'm looking at is, I'm still looking at the bullish structure, and this looks like a repeat pattern of this pattern, and there's a new low. First entry short, pullback, second entry short. Nice bearish bar that probably trapped a lot of traders picking a top, and a strong bullish reversal. We triggered lower. Everybody who went short got triggered in, that got filled in, and instantly reversed higher. And perfect, we managed to get out. And such a big bullish bar. Exponential moving average keeps holding price. The trend line keeps holding price. And I feel this one is the proper one. We got trapped right here, but I think that this one was good enough for scalp, but I may be a little bit too, I'm going to stop trading for the day. I'm a little bit too, I may be taking a little bit impulsive entries right now, because we have a triple top right here. So I may have gotten lucky here. We'll see. All right, traders, quickly resume the video as I'm going to enter a failed second entry short. I'm going to move my stop loss one tick below the signal bar. Bar is very big, so I try to sneak in a little bit back, so I make my stop loss small, but it's still very, very big stop loss. So hopefully we're going to manage to get the scalp. I'm going to actually go for 10 ticks because I have really good limit order. But what I'm looking at, I saw a strong big push below EMA, new low form, first entry short, pullback above EMA confirming bullish momentum, second entry short failure. No trigger above the higher low right here, so I waited. So I was looking at the new low, first entry short, pullback, second entry short. And let's see if we, you know what, I'm not going to be greedy and catch a runner. Today is very choppy and the runners are almost impossible to catch, and we are at the very high. So I'm going to take a couple of points if I can be so lucky. But this was our last trade for the day. I took a break, and it's amazing what it can do, how much you can clear your mind when you take a break. All right, and we're very close to getting our runner filled. It would be almost 4 points, 3.75 of a point. So this would be a great run to cover our commissions, because we took a lot of trades today. Let's see if we can cover the commissions with this nice runner. Now I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you guys can see the overall structure. The trend line, I ended up extending it a little bit because we have additional more confirmation right here. So the structure is still very bullish. So if the structure is bullish, I'm looking for second entry longs or failed second entry shorts above EMA. So this was the one of those failed second entry shorts above EMA, and this one was much better. You guys saw me taking a horrible impulsive trade, failed second entry short, but it's very close to these highs. And right here, take a look how much more room we have to these highs right here. So this is much safer entry than this right here. I really shouldn't have entered this trade. This was a little bit impulsive entry, and I knew I had to call it a quit and take a break, because if you keep trading and you keep pushing it, that mental plague is building, and you can go down the rabbit hole and you keep making endless mistakes. So once you feel like you're starting to be making mental mistakes, you instantly have to nip it in the butt and take a break so you can feel a little bit refreshed. And we fill our runner. Perfect. So that's a nice little bonus. All right guys, so I'm gonna wrap it up. This is my last trade for the day. I'm not gonna push it any longer. 4-2 for the day. We took one losing trade right here, winner right here, winner right here, losing trade right here, winner right here, which was a horrible trade going long directly into the highs. When the body of the candle is not touching the EMA, this was an impulsive entry. Barely got out, fortunately, and a gorgeous winner right here. This is the best trade for the day, the cleanest entry. The second entry long was clean as well, but it ended up being a losing trade. This one was much better. And I took two losing trades today. I haven't had two losing trades in quite some time, so I was a little bit caught off guard, but you know, anything can happen in trading. I'm glad I make it back. You know, it just goes to show that it doesn't matter how hard you get hit. What matters is your hand raised at the end of the day. Unfortunately, my hand got raised at the end of the day. Even though it would have been much better, you know, if you take two winning trades right after open and then you have entire day free. You don't want to sit here for 6-7 hours just to end a green slightly. So, but it happens. Not every day is going to be extremely easy. Some days are extremely easy when you don't even believe how easy it is to make money, and some days you have to work for it and they make you really work for it. So today was one of those days where you really have to earn every single penny. But yeah, that comes to the territory. If this was easy, everybody would be doing this. So this was the bigger picture. You know, it seems like a strong uptrend, but never really any good setup appeared. We kept chopping, bars were big, no really clean good entry. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up. Hopefully you guys find the video useful, educational, and remember, when you feel like you're starting to take impulsive trades, when you feel like you want to revenge trade, when you feel like you want to, you know, get the money back quickly, take a break. It will help you. You will clear up your head and you will come back. You'll be surprised how clean the chart looks and how refreshed and rejuvenated you are. You cannot get tunnel vision. You cannot sit here and be looking for trades while being mad and angry and frustrated. Always take a break. Take a walk around the block so we get the fresh air, and it will help. So I'm going to see you guys in the next one.